Let's get some of these super chats. You guys are crushing it. Like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports. Let's get this video. Can I ask for 400 likes on a Christmas Eve as a Christmas present to your boy? Merv always cranking out the super chats left and right. Thank you so much, Merv. $9.99. Kyler Murray had an average of 2.1 seconds in the pocket today, the worst this season. Next gen stats. All three wide receivers had dimes thrown to them by K1 on crucial downs. All 84% catchable, all dropped. So Merv's busting out the big-time stats. We wouldn't expect anything less. I think you can say two things. Kyler Murray was pretty average today for his standards, and the wide receiving core continues to be, if not the worst in the NFL, show me a worse receiving core. Like, Michael Wilson went from catching fucking everything to he has like 4 or 5 targets a game. He can't catch a ball. Like, that one pass that Kyler Murray floated up to him, and I saw people on Twitter saying that was underthrown. No, he had a guy in his face. It was the exact same throw that Justin Fields threw to Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet came back and Justin cut the football. Michael Wilson had 2 hands on it. He dropped it. Rondale Moore dropped it. I mean, like, this receiving core, they're a victim of their own circumstances. Like, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, should they have just kept DeAndre Hopkins? Like, what are we doing here? But then it's just like, no, they endured this on purpose. They said, we're comfortable with this group coming into this year. And we know Hollywood gets hurt. Look, he's not available in December. We know Rondale Moore is undersized. Look, he can't play outside receiver. We know Michael Wilson was hurt at Stanford. Look, he's missed time lately. Like, all of those facts were clear and present before the season. So, like, I think to expect something different now at the end of the year, like, where's this 400-yard passing game? And where are the 5? It's just like, this is who you signed up to play with. And you were, I don't even know if they were hoping like guys would have buck trends and have career years. Like, no shit, this is bad. This is this is the receiving core that everybody was like, check, we're good. Yeah. Hey, this is what you get. You get what you pay for at the end of the day. And outside of a nice little run by Michael Wilson earlier this year, BG, this is receiving core has been an unmitigated disaster this year. It's been a disaster.
No, I agree. It's been to the point where you have nobody that wants to make a play. I mean, outside of Greg Dortch, he had the ball in his hands a few times this year, and he's made plays when the ball's in his hand. But you can't really say that about anybody else. We had the 2-game stretch out of Michael Wilson before he hurt his shoulder, San Francisco, and the one before where he made catches and he made contested catches. And ever since, he's been gone. And that, I mean, Hollywood just hadn't shown up all year. Hollywood is. We got to write that one off. That
Zero chance he's back.
We thought it was going to come out. Yeah, no, we thought it was going to be good. He's got his college quarterback. They got chemistry. That project failed. That's an F, a huge F. That one's done. You got to – but outside of that, I mean, we've had no production from the wide receiver core. There's been no contested catches, outside of a few from Dortch. But, I mean, other than that, Trey McBride's your number 1 receiver. Greg Dortch is your number 2 receiver. Nobody else is there. I mean, Higgins has come on late. He's been catching the ball. He's been doing well. But, I mean, there's no separation outside. There's no separation inside. Nobody can get open. It's man-on-man coverage, right? As a receiver in high school, you dream of this. High school, you're going to play me man-on-man? I'm winning. College, the NFL, if I'm playing football in the NFL, I got one-on-one coverage. This is the best it's ever going to get. One-on-one, it's literally me versus the guy across from me. And it's not like one-on-ones in practice where you got all day to run some bullshit route or the corner's just locked into you because you didn't have to worry about anything else. There's other shit going on. So he can't just lock in depending on what's going on. It's just get open. Push off. Dude, get a penalty. Offensive pass. I don't give a shit at this point. Make it look good. If you're not going to complete it, at least get an offensive pass defense for you. Make it look fun.
I love Merv, his comment. Thank you for super chat. Happy holidays. I mean, the next level analytics in there, it paints a great story. I got some next level analytics. This is right here. This is an envelope. This is the amount of separation that Arizona Cardinals wide receivers were getting between them and their defender. That's it. This little sliver. Can you see that? That's what the defenders, the Bears. I mean, Jalen Johnson, who spent most of his time on Trey McBride. But, I mean, then you got, like, Kyler Gordon and these other, like, unknowns, and the Arizona Cardinals can't get any separation, and that's big time concerning about Drew Petzing's offense. I mean, you can look at the players, but also I think that the scheme kind of fits into it as well, what's going on, because Cleveland does it at a really high level. Where Drew Petzing came from, like that's what we were excited about, Johnny, when Petzing was making the move from the Browns to the Cardinals, is they were top 5 and when they're wide receivers and the amount of separation that they were able to get last season, we're just not seeing that. So I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned that the scheme also plays into this.
It's a player's league.
He kills me though. Like the Petzing is, he's got to be on a hot seat. It's play call, it's situational play calling. It doesn't add up. Like it's third long and there's this, it's third short.
I thought they would have been like, we know what our receiving core is and isn't. And today it's going to be the Pittsburgh game plan, all tight ends and running backs. And KR Gordon in the chat $1.99 super chat saying Bears watched the tape on McBride. Petzing didn't adjust that. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Agreed.
I think there's truth to I'm guilty of this, but I host a podcast. I'm not the offensive coordinator for the Cardinals. I think there was some truth to maybe the Cardinals thinking, well, the Bears really struggled against David Njoku, so Trey ought to be able to have a day. And it's just like, no, you got to be creative, man. Like, eventually the league was going to catch up to like Trey McBride. And how did you adjust? And like, okay, their number one corner and their safety is on Trey McBride. Who can then we benefit from being open or from having one-on-one coverage? Well, in certain cases, it was Rondale Moore and Michael Wilson. They didn't make plays today. I mean, it's really going to be a fascinating case study because we're going to get to March. Is Rondale Moore going to be on this football team? I don't think any of us think Hollywood Brown, save for a really minimal deal, is going to be on this football team. And then how much of an urgency does this team have in free agency to add? Because like, we're going to give updated draft standings. And I mean, if you're into the draft, it's good news today. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is very much alive for this franchise. But like, do you need more than that? You fucking might, because Michael Wilson right now, is he a 2? No. Is he a 3? You hope. I mean, at times this year, he's been a high end 2. And I think, again, I said this on the pregame and halftime, like he needs an offseason with Kyler Murray, but that you cannot tap out at wide receiver in free agency. You have to participate in you have to bring in help. This is just not good enough. Whoever your quarterback is, and I'm still very much 99% certain Kyler Murray is going to be back. I'll play Justin Fields. He had better passer rating and more yards and more touchdowns than Justin Fields today. And Justin Fields has got all day to throw. It's 7-on-7 for Justin Fields. So we're going to talk more about that. Let's talk about our player of the game. We just mentioned it, BG. It's our boy, Greg Dortch, making a play. And like Greg Dortch, I love Greg Dortch. He's our X factor. Let's check him out. 2 catches, 45 yards, a touchdown. 2 things can be true. And I say this with all due respect. Greg Dortch needed more targets at the beginning of the year. If Greg Dortch is your number 1 receiver for this team at the end of December, like what's going on, guys? What's happening? Like that's what's going on. Greg Dortch is, I believe, a starting caliber wide receiver in the slot, shifty as hell. He's it right now. He's all you got. That's a problem, Bo. That's a big fucking problem.
Huge problem. I don't know how we just absolutely just roast the wide receiver core and then make one our player of the game.
Well, because I love Greg, and he made a play.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's the only one that made a play receiver-wise, and it was a great play, and it's fun to watch Greg Dortch play the game because, like you said, Johnny, he went from very minimal snaps at the beginning of the season, and the end of the season has turned into, like you said, their only wide receiver that makes plays. He's the only one that makes plays. And he's the only one that made a huge play today.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, outside of James Conner, who else are we talking about? Nothing. Every drive that succeeded was all James Conner. Like, at the end of the season, when we talk about team awards and however you want to do it, if people do that, James Conner is the MVP, offense, defense, special teams, and he only played on one side of the football. Because when James Conner was out the game and not getting the football in his hands, this team fucking sucks. They're awful. It's hard to watch. It's hard to root for. They're bad. So when you see somebody like Greg Dortch come out here and still, he had minimal receptions. He had 2 receptions, but he turned it into 45 yards and a touchdown that he had no business getting in the end zone with. I mean, even if he breaks that first tackle, I mean, come on. He had 2 guys right there, should have tackled him, and it just turned into, I said it earlier in our group chat, it's a punt return for him. You give Dortch open space with the football in his hands, and it's 4 guys out there. He's not getting tackled. He's too shifty. He's too quick. He's too good with the ball in his hands, and he proved it today.
Yeah, he's a cold-hearted man for what he did to those poor Bears defenders on Christmas, man. I mean, as you said, 3 guys between him and the end zone, put him on skates out there on Soldier Field. It was a great play, and that play in itself, I can see how it's swung to the X factor. I look at the defensive box score. I like what I saw from Jalen Thompson. A little bit uneven if you combine. For the first half, he struggled a little bit, but 3 passes defense and the pick with 5 tackles. I thought JT played really well again. He set his single season career high in picks. Now he's got 4 on the season. So JT continues to play at a pretty decent clip for the Cardinals that struggled on both sides of the football. No doubt about it today.